Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today we'll be covering The New Teen Titans, number 18, published by DC Comics in 1982. Fantastic issue, one that I originally got in a bag of 3 comics, coverless, from Kmart when I was just 12 or 13 years old. And so this one has a lot of fond memories for me. It's a superb issue featuring some incredible George Perez, Romeo Tanghal artwork, and a fantastic Marv Wolfman script. So let's get into it. We have an incredible George Perez cover here. He was a master cover artist, really masterful in every aspect of the comic craft. But this cover really stands out. Excellent. The taglines read, Comicdom's most stunning super team, because you demanded it, the return of the original Starfire. And we have those wonderful word balloons on the cover as well. Robin says, you were one of us once. Why have you betrayed us now? The answer to that, Robin, will be the death of you all, replies Starfire. This is the Russian Starfire we're going to see. And a great costume design by Perez here too, just awesome. He was a really good costume designer. All right, let's open up to our splash page and go over our creative crew. Marv Wolfman and George Perez are listed as co-creators. Marv is the writer, George is the artist. Romeo Tanghal is listed as the embellisher. John Costanza is the letterer. Adrian Roy, the colorist, and Len Wein is the editor. The title, A Pretty Girl is Like a Malady. What do a plunging comet into the wastelands of Siberia, a violent revolution in El Salvador, and a young Russian bride-to-be all have in common? The amazing answer is revealed in A Pretty Girl is Like a Malady. Sorrow knows no boundaries, tragedy no man-made borders, and death slices sadly through the human fabric regardless of where it may be. Case in point, an almost forgotten cubicle buried deep in the Soviet Union. Please, do not tell me he cannot be dead. No, not my Thomas, not my darling son. Yes, I am all right, but please tell me again, are you certain an American did this? It is always Americans. I hate them all of them. During the war, my brother Pavel was killed while sharing a foxhole with an American who was asleep instead of on guard duty. And my darling Sonia killed while I served in Hanoi when an American plane dropped its filthy bombs on our hotel. Americans, always Americans, bring death to the loved ones of Marek Slavik, but never again. So this mid-level Soviet functionary, Marek Slavik, is going to craft a very convoluted plan to gain revenge on the Americans. So he looks through some old files, digs up an old file that leads to an old sample of a very deadly bacillus that the Soviets had developed as a germ warfare device and then discarded due to its incredible danger. And he makes it live again, and then he begins to enact his plan. And so we have Malady has been sent here by grief-stricken Marek Slavik to fetch some unimportant papers, or so she thinks. Since the death of Slavik's son, Malady has gone out of her way to please her department head, though this night she would have preferred to dine with her fiancé rather than bring expectant glee to the dark forces of death himself. So Slavik brings this lovely young Secretary Malady into his office, and he charges her with a mission to take this envelope to an agent in America. Unknowingly, and we're going to see this play out throughout the rest of this issue with this excellently done green hue here by our colorist Adrian Roy, any contact with this is death. So right now, Malady has become infected with the same bacillus, and whenever she comes in contact with someone, she's going to do the same thing. You will have not to worry, my dear Malady. Sadly, not ever again. So she wants to know if she's going to be back in time for her wedding in a month. And sadly, events have been set into motion that are going to prevent that. Another week passes before we make our way to the darkened docks of New York's West Side. About time you showed up. I'm down to my last cigarette. And I see you're still as warm and charming as ever. Wonder Girl, this is King Faraday of the FBI. He makes Dirty Harry look like Prince Charming. Wonder Girl, listen, kid, I wanted you, not your prom date. And Wonder Girl replies, your friend has all the charm of a terminal disease. Yeah, and I'm cute too. Now look at this photo, kid. It explains why I called you. You remember this, Joe? Or maybe I should say Ivan. His name is Leonid Kovar. Only you remember him as Starfire, Robin replies. He's the Russian superhero we met a few years back. And this refers to a story from the old Teen Titans number 18. So kind of cool that this is new Teen Titans 18, and Kovar's last appearance was in the old Teen Titans number 18 title. Nice symmetry there from Marv. Right, Bright Eyes. And one of our contacts in the Kremlin tells us he's on his way here, in secret. So we figured you super types, knowing Kovar, could follow him and tell us what he's up to. And Wonder Girl, who was there for that original meeting and team up with Kovar, remembers how they had faced down a jewel thief, a French jewel thief, and eventually defeated him. And then Robin begins to recount the origin of Kovar. This Starfire never used his powers, although he said he had some. Got them from a supposed meteor that fell in Siberia back in 1908. Only when he and his father found the crash site, they discovered it had not been a meteor, but a demolished rocket ship. Kovar said he sneaked into the ship at night, fiddled around with the controls. Then somehow, a bolt of power surged through his body. Somehow it increased his speed, his stamina, his strength, and agility. He became Russia's first real superhero. Starfire went back to his own country, but we all departed friends. Though who knows, a lot can happen in a few years. So now we have the Titans meeting as a whole team here. And Robin is explaining their remit. So, you see what the trouble is. Maybe Kovar's still a friend, but he could be an enemy. And Starfire asks, he was called Starfire, just like me? Starfire was a rough translation of his Russian name, Robin replies. And when we saw your Starbolt powers, well, we figured the name would fit you as well. Besides, we didn't think Kovar would mind. And here's another theme that's going to repeat throughout our issue as Kid Flash reveals that he is a rabid red hater, anti-communist. I never trusted him, Dick. You can't trust any of his people. Look what they did in Afghanistan and Angola. So Robin replies, nevertheless, Wally, we have a job to do, and an important one. Faraday's contacts mentioned something about a plague carrier, and we don't know how Kovar fits into that, or why the Russians didn't inform our government he was coming. So then Kid Flash here has a brief interaction with Starfire and refers to Starfire had a romance and who recently passed away, a romantic partner who recently passed away. So she's not in the mood to joke around with Logan, Garfield Logan here, Changeling. Meanwhile, we go back in time 3 days ago at JFK International Airport, New York. A young Russian girl moves quickly through customs. Contact. Outside, Mo Shurance, a New York cabbie, takes the young girl's luggage. Contact. 53 minutes later, doorman Captain Jack McCarthy helps the young Russian into the Hotel Fontaine. Contact. So great use of these inset pieces of contact with anything that that malady is carrying spreads the bacillus, and so all of these individuals are going to become sick because of it. And Slavik's plan is beginning to come to fruition here. She is an unknown vector for this powerful pathogen. 1 week passes, and we return to JFK Airport. So now Kovar has come on an assignment, a very dark and sad assignment to the United States to deal with this malady issue. And we see him here in his civilian outfit, looking very cool and suave in his sunglasses. Obviously jacked here in his in this tight-fitting turtleneck he's wearing. And he witnesses this guard go down. Is he dead? I don't know. I've never seen anything like this. He would have been the first. I have arrived in time. And meanwhile, so intent is Leonid Kovar that he fails to see a small green fly fluttering nearby. And did we say green fly? Indeed, green as in changeling. Has Kovar arrived yet? So the Titans had staked out the airport for Kovar, and changeling spotted him. Better believe it, Robbie. Listen, one of the customs agents keeled over when Kovar showed up. And Faraday said something about a plague carrier. We found our carrier, Robin. So Kid Flash immediately jumps to that conclusion at super speed, fittingly. So his strong anti-communist bent is showing here. Come on, Wally. That just doesn't sound like the Kovar we met, Wonder Girl counters. And Robin says, ever the voice of reason, I guess we'll just have to see about that, Wonder Girl. Meanwhile, we follow Kovar. So the Titans in this great sequence here. I love how Perez in just kind of one panel can show us just a brief glimpse into what the Titans can do. So they all have their own way of getting around. Robin, of course, has his cycle. Changeling's a bird. Starfire's flying alone with her telltale hair contrail. Cyborg is leaping with his hydraulic legs. Wonder Girl's flying at great speed, and ahead of them, of course, is Kid Flash. So cool. And then, arriving there before any of them, just as they show up, Raven teleports. So they arrive at a hospital. Jamaica Hospital? Why would he come here? That's what we've got to find out, Starfire. Kid Flash, Wonder Girl, and I can't go in. Kovar knows us. Starfire, Cyborg, and Changeling would be too obvious. It's up to you, Raven. So Raven is a Titan who, once she takes her mysterious cloak off, is the one currently most capable of passing as just a normal person. Just watch out, Raven. Don't go near him, Kid Flash warns. And Robin adds, that may be good advice. I'm afraid we just don't know about Kovar. So here, Raven is in the hospital, and she overhears a conversation between Kovar and a doctor. Please, the man who was just brought in here, tell me, how is he? It's hard to say. I've never seen radiation-created cell deterioration like this before. But if we can't find a cure within 96 hours, he'll be done for. Radiation poisoning. I must tell Richard, Raven thinks. And she goes to leave the hospital, and a nurse asks, excuse me, miss, do you need any help? No, I have what I came for. Goodbye. Oh my. Great use of power effects by Perez to demonstrate how these characters, these amazing characters, use their powers. And 18 issues in, plus one preview prior to the first issue, Raven is still a fairly new character, and they're kind of still exploring her look and abilities, and not everything is known about her yet, and just a fantastic way, almost in the way that Dave Cockrum developed a look and Byrne further refined it for Nightcrawler's teleportation. Raven has a similar effect, although it doesn't carry with it that brimstone stench of Nightcrawler. Very cool stuff. 2 days pass. Boring. I'm getting sick of tailing that jerk, Changeling says. More than 100 people have come down with that same radiation poisoning, but Kovar wasn't near any of them. I don't understand this, Wonder Girl. And Kovar seems to be searching for something. But what is it? Or who is it? She replies. Still, I think we're right in not picking him up. I don't think he's connected with the radiation plague. Wonder Girl's got a good intuition on this one. But of course, Wally/Kid Flash isn't hearing any of it. I do. Let's go down there and make him tell us. He's the one who's got the answers we want. So, Kovar has tracked Malady to this hotel, the Hotel Fontaine, and he's looking around for her. A great shot here of just a near miss of the two characters as he goes one way. Meanwhile, coming the other way down the stairs is Malady, who's even at this sort of like far away shot, you can tell something's not quite right with her. Perez just a master here. So she goes one way, he goes the other, but then as the elevator doors are closing, Kovar sees her. Wait! There she is. Operator, do not close this door. Too late. The elevator door shuts. And then we have this great panel ISO just on a quiet elevator door. And then, though apparently that means little to the Russian superhero named Starfire. Great panel here of just scratch destruction as Starfire demonstrates his amazing strength for the first time in this issue. And we're about to get into one of this. This issue has essentially in 25 pages, two of the most amazing superhero fight sequences ever drawn. Just superbly done. And they pack them into just a regular size 25-page issue, and they're amazing. So let's go and witness the action. So here there, Raven is watching as Malady gets into this cab. She looks ill. Ill? She looks like she's on a first-name basis with death. She can barely stand, Kid Flash adds. Somehow I sense she has something to do with this. Well, she's taken off in a cab. Looks like your hunch was wrong, Raven. But I take it back. There's our friendly red herring now. He's after that poor girl. But Starfire, the second Starfire, isn't having it. But he won't get near her. Hold it, both of you. Believe it, Starry. So Starfire and Kid Flash come streaking down off the rooftop, and our first fight is underway. Do not worry, Robin. I will merely stun him. What? I am being attacked? But by whom? Great shot of Kovar just barely dodging one of Starfire's star bolts and the telltale sign of it. Scree! Don't tell me you've forgotten your old fighting partners already, or is your memory as poor as your country's honor? Kid Flash? And Kid Flash streaks by and smacks him. And the girl, yes, she must be Starfire, given the same name you Americans last gave me. I was briefed on you, Titans. I was informed that you were good, that you were very good, though it seems not quite good enough. I love this move. Makes no sense physically speaking, but it's so great how he just yanks a strip of street up as if it was a carpet and smashes them both with it. Great move here. Continuing on. Leonid, please, we only want to know about your mission here. Why you came to our country in secret. Because that was the desire of my government, Wonder Girl. And if that is their wish, I will comply, even if it makes us enemies. Great sequence here, and a masterful use between these two panels of Perez using an open panel as Wonder Girl tries to lasso him, but his incredible reflexes allow him to catch it and turn it against her as he smashes her into a building. Wham! But the Titans work as a team. Kovar braces himself, waiting for the attack he knows must come, but when it arrives, it comes in a form he has not expected. Sound, it's deafening me. Be glad I didn't up it a couple of notches, Pally, because that would have blown out your eardrums. Now, are you ready to talk this over? No! So even Cyborg's super tough body aren't enough to resist Kovar's strength as he knocks him away with an incredible punch. I have told you, I have a mission to perform in secret. Under these same circumstances, I would not expect you to talk. So great panel here as Changeling turns into an octopus and grabs Kovar, restraining him long enough for Robin to get a few bits of conversation in. Leonid, don't you see how fruitless this is? We don't want to hurt you. We know about the plague. We just don't know what your involvement is. Please, level with us. I cannot. Oops. If this was up to me, I would. But my government ordered my silence. I will do as they demand. So he shrugs off Changeling and knocks Robin back with Changeling's octopus body. Another great open panel here. And behind Kovar, we see Raven's soul self descending on him. And there's no resisting that. Still, Leonid, Kovar, if your mission is to further spread this plague, we cannot allow it to continue. So for now, you will simply rest. Awesome panel arrangement, panel sequencing here of Kovar succumbing to Raven's soul self, the blackness he obviously feels, and then the slow re-emerging to consciousness, but in a different place, in Titan's Tower. Okay, let's start all over again, shall we? You got clearance from your embassy. Now tell us what's going on, please. I am pleased, Robin. I did not wish us to be enemies. But Kid Flash can't let it go. Sure you don't. Just like your government doesn't want to intimidate Poland, eh? I am not here to fight with you, Kid Flash. And I am surprised that you would judge one man by the actions of his government, Raven chides Kid Flash. Come on, he's their agent. He's told us that much. Did you not say you undertook the mission following me for your government? Do you condone all of your government's imperialistic policies? Let's cut this out, shall we? What about the girl? Because his son was killed by an American in El Salvador, a minor official in my government decided on a course of personal vengeance. He irradiated a woman with a deadly bacillus and sent her here to New York on a phony mission. She is unaware that she spreads this radiation-induced plague to anyone she touches, even though with every passing hour she brings herself closer to death. Malady, Malanova, cannot be saved, but her victims can. A simple enough procedure if the victim has suffered this plague for less than 14 days. I was sent to your country in secret, not only to stop the girl, but also to prevent panic. We were afraid your people would not believe this was merely the doing of one grief-stricken madman. Again, Kid Flash, not having it. And you expect us to believe it? Come on, maybe your masters pulled the wool over your eyes, but you're not fooled. But we're not fooled. I will not hear this any longer, Kid Flash. Swack! Great shot of coming from out of the panel here as Kovar knocks Kid Flash unconscious, and then demonstrates his incredible speed and superhuman athleticism as he scatters the Titans, launches himself from Titan's Tower, which is on an island off the coast of Manhattan, makes it to the ocean in one leap, and swims away. Changeling pursues him. Meanwhile, across town, in the office of one Dr. Stanislav Kershinsky. Unbelievable, simply unbelievable. I have not seen radiation disease such as this since Hiroshima. Severe contamination. She cannot live. And she doesn't realize that yet, Doctor? She's just asked me how to get to the cloisters. She can barely stand, but she wants to go to a museum? Have her come in, Madeline, will you? Doctor, please tell me, what is happening to me? I feel so weak, so terribly sick. And a great, just a fantastic demonstration of Perez's artistry. Look at the difference between Malady here as her disease has progressed from the beginning of the book when she's so young and beautiful and healthy. So just a fantastic juxtaposition of images there, masterfully done by George Perez. And I am so afraid. I do not understand. With good reason, Malady. Please do sit down. You must go to the hospital where... No, no hospital. I cannot. I have something to do. Then I have to be married. No, I cannot go to any hospital. Madeline, please. Hurry, call the police. She must be stopped. She does not realize she spreads her poisoning to everyone she merely touches. And again, we see the green aura around these two healthcare providers' hands as they too are now irradiated by the bacillus. But at that self-same moment, across the East River, nothing up here, so whammo, another patented Gar-Logan shape change. So Changeling transforms into a dolphin, but still cannot find Kovar. You spot anything, Gar? Zilch, Kovar's flown the coop. And you all thought he was playing straight. Why are you so down on him, Wally? I've never heard you speak like this. Maybe because I knew our politics were always different. Look, I don't put you down for being liberals. Why attack me for being a Midwestern conservative? Robin, ever the realist. Forget politics. All I care about is finding the girl. Listen, she was weak. She just might go to a doctor or clinic. So we start calling every medical facility in New York. More than an hour passes, but fruitlessly until I have found her, Robin, a Dr. Krzyzewski. Of course, she picks a doctor with a Russian name. Tell him we're on our way. So Titans working the phones here, not just superhero brawlers, they're also detectives, thanks to Robin. And before we move on, just wanted to comment quickly on this incredible house ad for Swamp Thing. This is obviously pre-Alan Moore Swamp Thing, but it's written by Martin Pasco and illustrated by Tom Yates, edited by Len Wein. And this Tom Yates art is banging. Just incredible here. Really good stuff. Because You Demanded It, the triumphant return of Comic-Tom's most honored adventure series. Soon to be a major motion picture from Avco Embassy. Yeah, that was the Swamp Thing movie with Adrienne Barbeau, I believe. Very memorable in my 12-year-old mind. Back to our story. Cool long panel here showing the cloisters. A day passes. Above a hilltop fort in Tryon Park stands a magnificent recreation from the Middle Ages. Opened in 1938, the Cloisters is more than a museum. It is a living link to a lifestyle that died almost 8 centuries ago. From its stone portals to its hanging unicorn tapestries, the Cloisters proves that immortality of sorts does exist. A concept that this dying girl would find a grim jest indeed. Marv just crushing it with the script here. Really well done. And George and Romeo, just the way they illustrate the Cloisters in this coming battle, this is the second of 2 battles coming up here in this issue, is amazing. And we see Malady very ill in the garden, and she is suddenly not alone. Malady. You, oh my God, please do not look at me like this. I was sent here to find you. You were lied to, you know. We have no agents here. I did not want to think that, but I knew it. Why did he do it? Misplaced hatred? It is hard to tell. But forget Slavek. I care about you. Malady, why did they send you? You of all people. Your touch spreads pain and death, Malady. I was sent here to see that you die. Really great reflection of Malady's sickened face in Kovar's visor, mirrored visor here, his costume. But suddenly they are not alone. No way! I knew it, Kovar. I just knew it. You're a soulless killer, just like your government. It appears Kid Flash is correct. Your mission here is to kill. Cannot you see that I have to? Every man, woman, and child she touches could die. No, you don't understand. None of you can possibly. I will have to handle this my own way. Great shot here of Kovar just hefting this multi-ton pillar and using it to block Starfire's Starbolt. Just fantastic Perez pencils here. Incredible stuff. But before he can do anything with his makeshift club, Cyborg steps in and returns the favor from a few pages back when he got clubbed by Kovar. Forget it. You ain't killing no one, especially not some poor innocent girl. Splam! Holy Hannah, your punch blasted him clean through the wall. Well, wherever he goes, I go. This time, that commie's not getting away. Great shot of Kovar continuing his path where he was knocked through yet another wall. Leonid Kovar crashes through the great stone wall of the Gothic chapel, while in the Kuksa cloister outside. Robin, she is dying and in great pain. Can your empathic powers help her, Raven? I do not know. I will do all I can. Please try. This is important. I always do my best. I can do nothing less. Her pain will become my pain. And as Robin moves away, he thinks to himself, but there's never anyone who can soothe your suffering, is there, Raven? No one you feel comfortable enough with to tell your troubles to. So Robin is ever the leader, himself pretty empathic, and concerned about his team. Meanwhile, back to our fight. Again? Why do you persist in hounding me? She has to die. Show her the mercy she deserves. Mercy? My God! Did you people show mercy in Hungary or Czechoslovakia, in Afghanistan or Poland? Don't be a lousy hypocrite. Your country gives you orders, and you're just dying to obey them, no matter who has to suffer. And again, Kovar obviously not having it. It gives it to Wally here at Kid Flash in these next two panels. You really believe this is a matter of politics, don't you? That girl is in pain. It tears me apart even thinking about that. She will die anyway. Let her die my way, not by some slow, insinuating torture. We can't let you kill her, Starfire. We can't. So after he gives Wally the 1-2 punch, Wonder Girl wraps him up in her magic lasso. A golden lasso, Wonder Girl's tool in trade. Surely you, above all the others, must understand me. I always sensed understanding in you. Please free me. Let me do what is best for Malady. I can't, Leonid. I know I don't have the right to make decisions of life and death, just as I know you don't. But I must. You cannot stop. You cannot allow, and I cannot allow you to stop me. So here, his arms are bound by her unbreakable lasso, but his incredible athleticism and superhuman powers allow him to leap, and he actually delivers a headbutt to Wonder Girl's midsection and drives her out of the enclosure here. And Wonder Girl is arguably the most powerful Titan. Maybe you could argue Starfire, but I mean, Wonder Girl is essentially Wonder Woman, and she's pretty darn powerful. But as been proven in this issue, this Russian version of Starfire is no slouch. While, be calm, young one. Feel my energies merge with your own. Feel my life become your life. But the pain, it hurts so very much. Let me die. It hurts too much to live. No, don't say that, girl. You cannot die. I will not forsake you. But then Raven thinks to herself, but her pain is too great for me to bear much longer. So, great shot here by Perez and Tangal of Raven using her powers with a cool purple and black silhouette of her soul self and the energies she's wielding to try and heal Malady. But again, Malady is even worse here in this picture. She's just literally deteriorating from minute to minute. Leonid Kovar races through the herb garden of the Bonifant cloister, and for the first time since this mission began, he is afraid. He is good. He knows that. But his foes are overwhelming, and they seem to be everywhere at once. Great shot again here of Starfire targeting him at range. What? You moved out of the path of my Starbolt? But nobody is that fast. Obviously, Starfire, I am. Though slower than your Kid Flash, I am still faster than you. Faster, and if my briefing was correct, Stronger. There are points of pressure along your body, points I can manipulate to render you unconscious. There. I do not mean to hurt you, girl, but this will keep you out of my hair until my mission is done. Whoomp! They crash to the ground as Starfire seemingly renders Starfire unconscious. Wrong! That may have worked on anyone else, but not me. I may resemble an Earthling in most ways, but not all. To me, those pressure points were little more than a gentle massage. Great use of her starbolt powers here. She blasts him away, and cool depiction in this panel. You can't see Kovar because her bolts are so bright they're obscuring his figure. You just see his hands there. Then Changeling gets back into the action. I love this two-panel sequence here of Changeling in action. Look, Pally, we don't really hate you. In fact, let me give you a great big hug. Changeling transformed into a bear here. Ugh. You are strong in this bear form, Changeling, but you are not undefeatable. Besides, you seek merely to restrain me. You do not use your full strength, while I can use mine. Slam! You're right, we're not using all our power. All we want is for you to listen to reason. Robin gets in on the action with a great acrobatic double kick here. But if we have to stop you to do that, we are ready. Wonder Girl's back too and landing a kick of her own. You can stop me, but that is all right. All I need is a few seconds with Melody, and I do mean to have them. So he knocks Wonder Girl back, but then he is blasted here by a laser from Cyborg. And Buddy Boy, we mean to make sure you don't. Burn out my finger laser doing that, but I think Greensleeves here is out for the count. And Robin replies, only question is, can we keep him that way? We have to, Robin. You tell him that. Look, Changeling adds. He's getting up. After all that? I will not allow myself to be stopped. Where is she? Where is Melody? Here she is, Big Shot. You're really going to use all your big bad powers on this poor girl? Come on, mister. Let's see how brave you are. When you're done with her, why not attack an old age home? So here we have Cyborg holding the extremely weakened and debilitated Melody, who's suffering terribly from the disease, and Raven standing next to her, supporting her. Then a great open panel here where we just see Raven's face in shadow and the two emblems that adorn either side of her cloak clasp. Cool use of an open panel. I am sorry. Her illness is beyond my meager powers to cure. There is nothing I can do for her. But there is something I can do. I can end her pain. What? Haven't you heard anything we've said? You can't do that here. We'll fight you to the last Titan, but we won't let you kill her. Robin's being very persuasive here. We'll bring her to the hospital. The drugs they use will ease her pain. Are you doing this our way, Leonard? Or do we fight? You are wrong about this, but I can no longer fight you. We will take her to your hospital. For Leonid Kovar, each moment of the passing week is interminable, endless. I am sorry. There was nothing more we could do. So Melody has finally passed away. But she understood at the end. She asked if all those she infected were cured. She seemed relieved when I told her they were. She was a very brave girl, the doctor says. And you would have killed her like some lame horse. My God, Kovar, you're a damned cold fish. Wally just can't let it go. I would not have expected you to understand, but I volunteered for this mission to spare her the pains of slow, torturous death. Volunteered? Good God, what for, Kovar? To get some blasted medals when you got home? No, I volunteered because I loved her. Melody and I were engaged, and today was the day we were to be married. And in this awesome panel, Kid Flash gets served. It fantastically captured by George Perez here. The emotions on his face, the shock and the embarrassment, and the rest of the Titans in the background are just shocked as well. And this great final panel of a closed door, and you can see through the window Kovar walking away and the shadows of the Titans watching him. Just brilliant. Next issue, the return of Dr. Light in the wildest Titans tale of all, guest starring the amazing winged wonder, Hawkman. Please be here with us. And we even get a letters page. And I'm not going to read much of any of these letters, but the end of Wallace Lee Hopkins from Glen Carbon, Illinois' letter pretty much sums up my feelings about this issue. The constantly great battle scenes by Perez, Tanghal, and Roy. Thank you for another great issue. So he was listing all the things he loved about the Titans. And I 100% agree. So this was New Teen Titans number 18. I picked this issue up in a dollar bin. Like I said from the top, originally I had it as a coverless issue as a kid in one of those 3-packs. Just a phenomenal standalone Titans story with a great character. Would have loved to see Perez do more of him. I think he does show up in Crisis on Infinite Earths and Perez gets to draw him again. But I'm not sure if he draws him again after that. I know he joins the Titans and changes in his costume post-Perez. But that would be like in the late 80s, early 90s, I think. And changes his name to Red Star. But a really cool character and an incredibly moving story that is just perfectly executed, a gem. So if you enjoyed this read-through of New Teen Titans number 18, please like and subscribe and tell your friends. And I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.